Welcome to this episode of YouTube, and apologize for the delay. As the YouTube states, the challenges of summer include not having enough hours in the day to get your job done. So first and foremost, we're always about the wolves here, and the first thing that we have to try to do is brush them out and get that undercoat that's starting to shed off of them, so as the summer heat progresses, that they can cool themselves. Like you said, wolves don't have any sweat glands. They pant to evaporate heat off their tongues, so they're pretty much stuck with being hot until we can get that hair down and cool them off a bit. So Luna did something interesting. I didn't get it on video, but we all know that Luna's got a little bit of a strong predator drive, and she guards food. She gets all the food. She obviously does a lot of head shaking, predatory behavior. But the other day I was brushing Denali, and there was some thicker stuff stuck in his back part of the coat, and so I was plucking it. Well, Luna came over and she started plucking Denali's hair, and next thing you know, she's like on a deer carcass where she's grabbing it and pulling it and trying to toss it and tear it out. This is our boy Denali that she's doing this to, so obviously I intervened and snapped her out of that predatory drive. But you can see here, this wolf has got a very strong tendency towards dominance, towards predatory behavior, and certainly Denali kind of takes the brunt of it. And while she's got Denali in what we call the inguinal presentation here, with this, fully submitting, and notice Denali's tail's not tucked. He's not too concerned about it, even though he let out a little bit of a whine there. But we also have to be concerned about fly bites. In the inner area of their thigh where they have no hair, we do see sandfly bites and things that bruise up. And Luna had a little bad batch of bites here a couple of weeks ago, and Denali's again got a little redness there from irritation. So that's part of the challenges of the summer season. The other challenges come from the fact that we're a public display that is open now from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. starting this weekend. So we normally would have been 10 to 5. Now we're going 9 to 6 for our summer hours. Well, as you can imagine, if you have a winter coat, you don't have the ability to sweat or cool yourself. The best behavioral mechanism you have is to stay inactive. That is what goes on during the middle of the day. So it's our challenge to try to, help the wolves cool off, help them be stimulated in a period when they're normally not as active. So this is the morning time, and we actually have a program here called Photographers Only that is offered in the mornings on Saturday morning or Thursday at 7 p.m. I believe it's 7 a.m. on Saturday or Thursday night at 7 p.m. That dawn and dusk activity is when they are most active. And so we always tell people, if you really want to come and see wolves, try these two programs. But obviously the vegetation is a summertime thing, and it's growing quite well. Here's a vegetation in Grizzer's retired enclosure on the east side. And again, he has a beautiful area to cool himself, and he's got access, as I said, to 3 different enclosures. So he can come up to the front pack holding area. He can go to the back habitat, which you'll see here, which has got a very nice rock den. It's very cool. On top of the den, he can actually see into the exhibit pack, extremely well shaded, and so he has a lot of different places to go. And actually, Grizzer has 2 ponds. One is the east side. It's the bigger pond that he can actually swim in, and then in this pack holding area, we have a kind of a wading pool. It's deep, and we've not been filling it all that much, but it's in the front here, so that gives them an opportunity to kind of cool off. The other thing that happens in the summer is we seem to get a higher concentration of visitors outside of the enclosure, and that means wolves, coyote, fox, woodchucks, you name it. And here Grizzer's kind of sniffing the air. Actually, we had a habituated wolf. Those people on the Working for Wolves crew saw him directly. A black wolf that was pretty thin and kind of hanging around the backyard, and he had just been in the neighborhood when we filmed this, and so Grizzer's definitely checking it out. The wolf didn't get near Grizzer because we have 2 secondary enclosures, secondary fence to protect the wolves from anyone approaching directly and having face-to-face contact, but still the smell is in the air, and these wolves have an incredible ability to pick up scents, and so that was something kind of interesting. So here he is back in the pack holding area, and this is kind of the wading pool. Like I said, this is a smaller area. when the pups come next year, the pups will be using this facility, and we keep it relatively, even though it's a deep walled, we keep it relatively shallow so that he can just wade in it, and easy to clean, and we're cleaning it several times a month. So Grizzly's got a lot of hair, and so we are brushing him. And with an older wolf, you want to be a little more gentle with the brush, so we're not doing as much brushing as we are maybe kind of plucking the loose hair that's coming out. But we definitely have been noticing Grizzly's slowing down a little bit. Summer is hard on wolves. It's just too hot, and their hair prevents them from really cooling down. And we know Grizzly just turned 11, and those of you who maybe are watching on the webcam have been noticing he's just been laying down quite a bit more. And so we drew blood on him twice in the last 3 weeks, and are trying to figure out if there's something else going on at this age. We don't want to immobilize him. We don't want to risk the loss of the animal by immobilizing him. We're just trying to get a sense if there's something in the blood work that can maybe give us an indication of something, or if this is just an old age decline. So with that said, we want to be able to kind of connect with people, and so I want to remind people that we have 2 webinars coming up. We have a webinar on Saturday night, which is actually the feeding of the exhibit pack, and that is a 30-minute webinar. We feature a deer and feed the deer to the exhibit pack and feature that. And then the following Saturday, we thought we'd offer a morning webinar. Wolf care is done usually between 8 and 10 in the morning, and that's when they're most active. So we wanted to share that active period with people. So those are coming up, and you can check those out on our website. The other thing that we're doing is a fundraiser for the building expansion here in the lab. You may have heard me talk about it, but basically we are looking to add to our building and be able to then have a direct link from the pack holding area into the building that allows for us to bring, for the pups to come in and out. And probably more importantly than ever right now is Grizzer, if he is declining, and especially if this happens over the winter, we want to be able to have him come into a warm building without the stress and trauma of immobilization and carrying him in, which is how we have now, meaning none of our enclosures connect to an indoor kennel opportunity. And so we're doing a Wolf Care Capital fundraiser, selling raffle tickets for a Source River canoe. We only are selling 100, so the chances are 1 in 100 that you're going to win one. $75 a ticket, and again, this is to help the Capital Wolf campaign. Even if you don't canoe, the canoe is going to be here in Ely, in the canoe capital of the world. So even if you don't want your canoe and you win it, chances are you could find someone to sell it. So it's an investment. It's an investment in Grizzer. It's an investment in the pups. If you were a past pup care participant, we're also going to put plumbing in the lab. So it's an investment in those midnight shifts and not having to wander out in the rain to use the facilities inside. So anyways, that's it for this week's YouTube. So again, thank you for watching. If you do want a raffle ticket, you just need to email me. Basically, cash, debit card, or checks are accepted. No credit cards. So you can email me, I can call you, or you can just send me a check and say, hey, I want 2 raffle tickets. So I really appreciate the support, and certainly as the summer approaches, we know that the wolves and any enclosure enrichments that we can do for the wolves are going to be appreciated. So see you again. Have a good week.